Alexander Povetkin is facing off against Christian Hammer on December 15th, so that's the weekend after this weekend. Povetkin is currently ranked number 2 by the WBA, while Christian Hammer is ranked number 3 by the WBA. According to promoter Eddie Hearn, this fight actually could turn out to be a final eliminator, with the winner becoming mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Currently, you've got a WBA regular champion in Manuel Charr, and he has been ordered to face the number 1 ranked WBA contender in Fraser Kendall. How he's not WBA number ranked contender beats me, but apparently he is. So Kendall and Charr are gonna face off for the regular belt, and that leaves the number 2 and number 3 in Povetkin and Hammer to fight, as I say, on the 15th. And again, according to Hearn, the winner could become mandatory for Joshua. The WBA situation is very convoluted. Some people are going to say, no, actually, the WBA regular champion is essentially Joshua's mandatory. So he won't get another mandatory until he faces the WBA regular. I don't know. WBA rules seem to be so complex and strange. I'll be damned if I can figure it out. But potentially here, according to Hearn, should we assume Hearn knows more about the WBA rules than us? Potentially Povetkin or Hammer could actually be the mandatory for Joshua. We'll see what the WBA rule over the next week or so. Because, yeah, this fight is not a long way away. It's only like, what, 8 days until Povetkin Hammer. So they're going to have to make a ruling in the next few days about whether this is going to be an eliminator for Joshua. We'll see. So, yeah, just a quick update there, people, to let you know what's going on. If Povetkin beats Hammer, as most people expect, and does become mandatory for Joshua, what do you think of that fight? Let's say all the unifications for Joshua fall through and they don't happen in 2018. Would Joshua versus Povetkin be a decent enough consolation? Would you be happy with that fight? All I can say to Eddie Hearn is, if you do get Povetkin as a mandatory, you better be willing to put your hands very, very deeply in your pockets, because Povetkin's promoter, Rybinski, has got extremely deep pockets. I haven't seen this guy lose a purse bid before. And he's willing to pay a hell of a lot of money to get any heavyweight title fight involving Alexander Povetkin in Russia. And you do not want Anthony Joshua, if you're Eddie Hearn, you do not want Anthony Joshua having to go to Russia to fight Povetkin. You don't want that, given the controversy that has happened with Povetkin in regards to drug testing. So, yeah, that could be an awkward situation for Hearn. He better put his hands in his pockets and pay for that Povetkin fight. See, the problem is, I don't know how much money Povetkin generates in Russia, whether it's enough money to justify these insane purse bids that his promoter puts up for some of his fights. I don't know I don't know what's going on there with that. When it comes to Joshua and Eddie Hearn is a very shrewd businessman. If he has to fork out an enormous amount of money to try and keep Joshua Povetkin in the UK, would he really be willing to do that? That's my question. Because, he's thinking, where's my profit going to be? And he's also thinking, look, Povetkin, to the hardcore, is a well-known fighter. He's a big name. But to the casuals, which constitute the majority of people that tune in for Joshua fights, they don't know who Povetkin is. So can him, Eddie Hearn, potentially spending a hell of a lot of money to secure the fight in the UK, can that be justified from a financial point of view? That's what Eddie Hearn would, I guess, be asking himself. And just to give you an indication of how deep Povetkin's promoter's pockets really are, I know he was working with another guy I forget the guy's name now. Another Russian guy, the guy who promotes Ustinov. God, I've forgotten his name. Povetkin's promoter Ryabinsky was working in conjunction with that guy when he got the Klitschko-Povetkin fight in Russia. Okay? The purse bid on that fight was enormous. That Povetkin's team, the winning purse bid for Povetkin's team was enormous. It was like $20 million or something. Purse bid. It was some crazy amount. I've never heard of a purse bid like that before. Certainly not in recent years in boxing. And that's what they put up to make sure that the Klitschko-Povetkin fight was not in Germany, but in fact in Russia. 20 million. Is Eddie Hearn really going to put up that kind of purse bid? He's, Joshua gets paid that kind of money for his fights, but we're talking about, a situation where there's going to be a split and whatnot. So, I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below about this whole situation. It's happening. I'm out.